All right, so once again, I'm here with Morgan and Alan as we are heading to see Grindelwald, Crimes of Grindelwald. The Crimes of Grindelwald. And we all, I mean, you just watched it recently too, right? You refreshed yourself on it?
Yeah, I watched like the whole Harry Potter series.
So,
like a month ago.
So I watched Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them this morning. Morgan here watched it yesterday, and Alan has spent, as you just heard, the last month rewatching the entire catalog of Harry Potter movies. So I think it's safe to say he's probably the most excited of the three of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into thoughts on the first one. Personally, I thought it was a fairly weak movie. You know, the beasts were interesting, but there wasn't really enough of them in, like, you know, until he's going into this briefcase and the whole thing, and like the one that's terrorizing the city is invisible, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess. And then there was that whole sub story with the orphans and the anti-witch stuff, and I was like, I guess they have to have that. What were your guys' thoughts?
The plot was a little bit...
You'll speak a little louder.
The plot was a little bit all over the place for me.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't quite understand his purpose there and why he was so important.
Right, he just shows up in the U.S. and all of a sudden it's like,
oh my God, he's a suspect.
Right, and the whole time he's a suspect until they actually took his briefcase. He was like smiling like it was a joke. You know, he's like, oh, I'll just go with you when you say I'm under arrest. Like the whole thing, it was like, what? I didn't get how, like, he wasn't taking it seriously in any way, and she didn't seem like, I mean, I know because she was like a former agent trying to get back in the good graces, but she didn't even like really arrest him. She was like, you're coming with me, you know what I mean? I don't know. Alan, you give us your expert opinion.
I liked it a lot. I mean, I hadn't been watching, I didn't really finish like the last couple of Harry Potter films all the way through at that time when I first watched it last year, and like I just liked it. Like it was just kind of like, it wasn't too serious. I mean, it was serious at a certain point, but like it, you know, it's just kind of like this adventure movie. He's going to find these animals that escaped. Like he was there because he's trying to release the Thunderbird in America. Right,
and he wants to do it in Arizona.
Right.
I understood that. But why did he need to take a boat when he's got magic? Why did he come in like a muggle? Was he?
Maybe he liked.
Maybe that's.
Was he trying to stay under the radar?
No, it's probably maybe something to do with the briefcase. Maybe he can't, like, you know, do that porky shit with it.
No. Like, again, when he was with what's his name, James, the secondary male character.
Okay.
When he teleported out of the bank, he had this briefcase with him.
So he can do that. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe there is. Well,
so many holes.
If they're supposed to go,
so many holes.
No, but if they're supposed to go to another country, there's like a different jurisdiction, right? So like.
But yet he still came in the Muggle way rather than the magic way. I'm sure there's like a Hogwarts train.
Sure.
Via, like, to get between continents.
Sure, but I'm
right.
It's supposed to be 70 years before.
I mean, at the Ministry of Magic, did they not have those big, like, fireplace things where people would come in and out from all these different portals?
Still, like, probably it's just for, like, Europe. I mean, like, you know, the one over there is just for their people.
Maybe.
Not for just the entire world.
Well, then that's why maybe they'd have maybe they'd have specific ones for intercontinental travel where they'd have like security that would check things to make sure you're not bringing in foreign creatures and whatnot.
Right.
Which then I'd understand if that's why he came in via Muggle boat. Which, by the way, I hated that they used the term non-mage. I understood why they would want that difference to show that, like, just like with the United States and England, we have different terms for things like the loo for the bathroom and the tube for the subway. Yeah. They have a different term for like non-magic users.
Right.
But it was just like non-mage. Like, why did it have to be so like kind of like serious sounding? You know, like there's no fun in it, right? Like Muggle, it's a fun word, and then non-mage.
He's a wandless.
Or is it supposed to play into the fact again that it's the U.S. and it was people who left England for being not strict enough?
She just wanted to make sure, like, you know, this is not the same world. You know, this is America.
Right. Which I got that.
They're Mac USA. It's not the ministry.
This is totally different.
And then, by the way, Ron Perlman as the troll, perfect. Because I mean, it's Ron Perlman, you know. But yeah. So now, what about expectations for this one? I mean, Morgan, what do you think?
I'm really hoping they explain the villain a little bit more.
Right, because in the first one, all we knew was the exposition of the newspapers at the beginning, and then the fact that he appeared at the end, right, talking about how we shouldn't be under the, you know, we should be flaunting what we've got, not hiding it and scared and all that.
Basically Voldemort 1.0. British, but yeah.
Do we expect any fantastic? Do we expect any fantastical beasts in this one?
Yeah. There's a couple.
They better.
They
better. Oh, but yeah, by the way, the beast that they had in the first one, I was like, really? Like, the rhino thing that could, like, inject fire into, or molten lava, like, into the tree? I was like, that's stupid. Anyways, so there's gonna be mystical, fantastic beasts in this one. And there's gonna be some magic dueling, right?
Of course.
And I'm assuming a bad guy gets defeated. If not, then that's sequel bait.
They have a Lestrange character.
A Lestrange character, okay.
And then they have Nagini. Voldemort Snake.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's in here. She's not an animagus, but like it
was her before she. Is that the Asian character that was? Yes. There was like, oh, that's right. There was Alan and I were talking a while back about how there was controversy about why the Asian character has to be like the bad guy, right? So we'll see how that goes.
And then also Ezra Miller's back.
Ezra Miller
he survived that first film.
Oh, right. He was the one with the Obscurus inside. Okay, interesting. Well, I guess we'll see how it goes, and we'll be back after the movie. All right, and we are back in the car after seeing Crimes of Grindelwald. All right. So first of all, I must mention that it is 2:30 in the morning. That was a long ass movie.
Because who needs sleep?
Right. The starting time of the movie was 12.
Yeah.
But of course that's not, you know, that's not including trailers and stuff, which typically takes about 20 to 25 minutes. So the movie was about what, 2 hours and 10 minutes long, I'd say. And it felt every minute of it.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'll say is that the one headline I saw on a news article was franchise killing disaster.
Right.
I'd have to disagree with that headline.
Yeah, I don't think it's like awful.
It wasn't awful. It wasn't good, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was kind of like.
I'm not sure how I feel about the movie, honestly.
What I heard is that, like, yeah, it's like a movie that's setting up stuff.
It's kind of like the middle. It's kind of like the.
There's really like. Yeah, it's like a middle piece. It's not like, you know, something savory like. Which actually has anything happening.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
I found myself particularly bored at points of the movie. It went back to what Morgan was saying about the first one, how the plot was kind of all over the place.
Still all over the place.
Still all over the place.
I more information. I asked for more information.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I will give them that. They didn't have the same level of exposition as the first one, with like the opening being all like newspapery, you know, with with headlines and stuff. So they didn't do that. But they did have fucking, I guess, spoilers and stuff.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning. They did have, you know, Grindelwald. I mean, it's not really a spoiler because we know what's going to happen, but Grindelwald escaping prison.
I like that scene.
Right off the bat, because he had one of his.
Powerful he was.
Right. But that's also kind of my issue. So we had both seen Girl in the Spider's Web, and we had both mentioned in our own reviews of it that she had like godlike powers, where, at least to me, sometimes she didn't even have her cell phone, and yet she was hacking.
Right.
And once again, in this movie, in like these Harry Potter movies, the Fantastical Beast ones, they seem, not the other Harry Potter, but the Fantastical Beast ones. These characters are doing things without their wands in ways that I don't understand, that don't make sense to me. Like, they both were like blowing smoke at stuff and revealing these scenes, and there was all these things that I'm like, it doesn't make sense in my Harry Potter, world.
You can do spells without a wand. Like if you have the wand on you, like you don't have to like flick your wand and say the spell if you're strong enough. Like,
Okay.
the strongest wizards can do that. That's why you can do it. That's why,
What'd you say? Sorry,
We
what?
all know there's a limited supply of strong wizards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So there is a little bit of power scaling. I do feel like they are like seemingly way stronger than most of the wizards in the original films.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are supposed to be like, if Albus is supposed to be like one of the best wizards
This is
ever,
the greatest generation, apparently?
Yeah. Grindelwald has to match that level, and so like, and if Albus thinks Newt can take on Grindelwald, then he's also probably
But
on a very high level.
if Newt is so strong, why isn't he mentioned in any of the other Harry Potter movies?
Because
Oh,
this is like Verticon. They-
mind blown.
I mean, just the last character we were introduced to at the finale,
Who is introduced? Oh yeah, right.
or
Dumbledore's.
revealed. Yeah.
The big reveal is that what's his face from the first one? Credence in the first one
Obscures.
is a Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Bum bum
The-
bum.
Hidden Dumbledore.
Who is very powerful and has a phoenix and yada yada yada.
I want to know where Grindelwald got his information from.
She wants to know.
Coincidentally, he
Yeah.
found out he's a Dumbledore. Really?
And okay,
Well, because
I will admit
story
I fell
was-
asleep a little bit. So was that not something that was revealed at
so
anything?
the whole story is that I guess they were coming over to America, Lita Lestrange and her brother Corvus, and then she was tired of Corvus, like she was jealous of him, so she switched the baby with some other baby, and that other baby was Credence, and Corvus died in place of that other baby.
Mhm.
They were able to save Credence, and so I guess Credence happened to be a Dumbledore, I guess, that was on the same ship.
And how do we know this? Because in the last 5 seconds of the movie.
In the exposition dump, yeah.
Okay, so
I mean, they show you the scene.
but because everyone else in theater was like, "Ooh,"
Yeah.
when he called him Dumbledore. So okay, so
Well, they didn't say how they know he's a Dumbledore, but we do know that he's not Lestrange, that he's someone else's family.
gotcha. Until the end,
Yeah.
when he says, "You're a
Yeah,
Dumbledore."
Dumbledore. And that's probably going to be revealed like
Gotcha.
more in the future or something.
Because there are how many more of these movies coming?
So they have 3 more movies.
3 more
It's a
movies.
5-movie deal. Yeah.
5-movie deal, everybody.
And then apparently
So
This isn't like a long franchise.
strap into your seats.
Warner Brother is making plans for a 4-movie sequel deal.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So 5 movies and then a 4-movie sequel deal.
Yeah. They know that the most marketable thing is to just have the original cast back. So they want to have Harry, Hermione, Ron,
Oh my
and
goodness.
do 4 movies with them
So,
as adults in order.
so they're not going to be Fantastic Beast movies.
No. There's going to be 5 Fantastic Beasts movies, so we have 2 out of the way.
Right.
3 more
Yeah.
with Johnny Depp and
And Jude Law and all
Jude
that.
Law, yeah,
Okay.
and Randy Remain. But there's also making 4 other movies that are sequels to the original 8.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying it was 4 sequels to
No.
the 5 Fantastic
No.
Beast movies.
They're making
I was
4.
like-
They're making 4 sequels to the original 8 movies
Interesting. I guess. I don't know.
because they
Do you
they're
not
struggling for a hit.
That doesn't sound like that's gonna work.
do it, either
I
of
think it'll
you
work.
are either of you not
Maybe the first movie, yeah.
are you not concerned about any like Potter fatigue at any point in there?
It looks like they're trying to chase the dragon that.
I know, but
Disney is.
we've kind of already seen it with Star Wars now, where
Okay, well Disney screwed up with Star Wars. They screwed. WB screwed up with DC Comics. So this is like their other horse, like really strong horse.
That they're gonna
Harry
whip
Potter.
it till it dies.
Going
Yeah.
to hobble. I swear to God, it's going to hobble. I can see it hobbling.
Yeah.
It's like every company is like they have a franchise, and they're gonna break it out and franchise it.
Some other things from the movie, like the Nagini character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She never went bad during the
Right.
movie, right?
That's
so
true.
there you go, naysayers who were
She's
all like,
not a
why does
bad
the
guy."
Asian character have to be a bad
I
guy?
guess at one point she does, but maybe after she completely transforms, because that's the whole thing of Maledictus,
Right.
is that they can transform at will, but then at a certain point it becomes irreversible.
Right.
But then she does transform back into a human in Harry Potter. So
Yeah.
Gonna sacrifice herself at some point.
here's my prediction:
Prediction time.
is that Credence, or whatever his real name is gonna die, and that's what's
It'll
gonna, like,
spark
trigger
her.
and then that's where she goes like bad.
That would work.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem with a lot of prequels
Yeah.
is that when there's characters in the ones that come later,
Mm-hmm.
you know they've got this thick plot armor that is gonna protect them from everything.
Yeah.
So like in this movie, when Grindelwald is basically like, we must find Credence because he's the only one who can kill Dumbledore.
Right.
I mean, hello, Dumbledore.
Harry Potter.
Dumbledore
Harry
lives.
Potter.
Yeah, 70 years later, Dumbledore is still there.
And then killed by Snape.
And then killed. Well, okay. Spoilers. No, I'm kidding. I know. Everyone knows. But I
And
mean,
the same thing with Grindelwald. You know he's alive into those freaking movies.
right?
He doesn't even die.
There's only a few characters.
There's only a few characters that you don't even know how their end is, and it's not even the main character. You're on Pottermore. They say
Side characters.
he lives to the end, but like
See, the internet destroying everything, ruining
well, that's
everything.
herself. That's JK herself.
Oh, true.
Queenie and I think Jacob. I don't know,
Yeah.
Their stories.
I'm really curious as to what happened.
and
to
I'm
them.
really curious what happens.
Are you
there.
really though?
I am.
And I am.
Are you really?
Even though I
though?
predicted-
Out of all the characters, here's the few I'm
Nagini?
concerned about.
I'm also wondering how Nagini and Credence, how their story ends up, because a lot of people think they're like they will have some sort of familiar relation to Voldemort.
Oh,
Either one of them.
because somehow she has to end up becoming a Horcrux.
Well, yeah, she becomes really close. She's really close with Voldemort, so people think like, okay, maybe there's a familiar relationship, even though we know he's you know related to the Strange family. And also that's also another thing, like if Lita was the last of Strange and she dies in this film, how is there more of the Stranges?
Yeah.
So that's another thing that I'm like interested about.
So that's a subplot that they
Yeah.
could flesh out in the next 3 movies.
Right.
Don't you do that in movie 2?
So there's stuff to look forward to.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, complete non-mystery, but yeah.
By the way, I have to say, what the hell was Queenie doing at the beginning of this movie, putting an enchantment on the non-match?
That was like a real like derailment of a character.
When that first happened was when I first thought, here we go, Morgan's gonna agree with me that this plot is all over the place, because I did not understand why she started off that way.
Well, the way they explained it is
I mean, I get it, because she wants to marry him so badly that it turns her against the rest of her society.
Yeah.
To become bad, because she sees, if we weren't living under these constrictions, I could marry him. Despite the fact that they pretty much want to kill all the muggles out there that aren't worthy.
Well, what's explained in, I don't know if you nodded off, is that he has a vision of World War II, and so he wants to stop World War II by, preemptively striking against the Muggles and controlling them. He doesn't want to kill them all. It's like more about control of the Muggles, because he wants to stop Hitler, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah, because they even have the vision of a nuclear bomb.
So kind of a Thanos character.
Yeah.
Of like the ends, the means justify the ends.
Yeah, the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it ends justify the means, or means justify the ends? Which way would it be?
The ends justify the means.
The ends.
I mean,
I guess.
Whatever.
Either way.
Anyways,
Yeah.
he's not as like, I'm gonna kill them all like Voldemort was, like just straight up evil. He's more like
interesting.
nuanced.
He's
Interesting.
in a dark gray area. Dark gray.
He's dark gray. I just think
Even
he's
Even
a
though
little
he
bit
is
more,
completely cavalier about killing.
yeah, he is, but I'm just saying like he's more charming.
They did say he had a silver tongue, and he had to
Yeah.
change his guards 3 times.
Yes. Which I thought they said they took his tongue.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
They did.
Remember the guy had his tongue cut, and then he gave it back to him with the other one.
Gotcha. Okay, so real quick,
Yeah.
let's go over. Would we recommend this movie? Morgan?
I'm going to say a hesitant yes.
Hesitant yes,
Yes.
as in, like, wait till you can rent it?
Yeah. Yeah, let's go with that one.
Yeah, so Morgan's saying it's probably not worth the $24 he spent,
Nah.
but she'd see it if she could rent it or stream it. Right, Alan?
I mean, I think if you really enjoy Harry Potter and you like the Fantastic Beasts, seriously, you want to see like the past of Albus, yeah, I would go for it.
It's worth the price of a ticket?
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth IMAX money, or could...
I mean, you could just watch it regular.
So there you go. So it's, you know, Alan says maybe not worth IMAX, but it is worth seeing in theaters if you're a big fan of all the Harry Potter world. I guess I'd say the same. Like, you can wait to stream it, or, you know, if you have AMC Stubs list, see it in whatever format.
Yeah.
If you're gonna spend money on it, you don't have to splurge on the premium,
Yeah, no, it was like
the premium
added
seating.
much.
Yeah, I mean, some of the trailers were, which is what we're about to get into, but like the trailer for Mortal Engines had what's his face, Peter Jackson. Open it, preface it with the right way to see this movie is in IMAX, and then of course, you know, then they show it and he's like, because it's a big movie, so you have to see it on the big screen. And then they do Aquaman, and then they got Jason Momoa and
the chick that
and his
plays his
co-star in that movie, and they both go, the best way to see this movie is in IMAX. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. There were 2 trailers that were new for us. I did save it here. Ugly Dolls.
No.
That first trailer, that's gonna be a big negatory for me.
Kids movie?
I think it's based off of some toy line.
Kids movie.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
All right.
Kids are suckers for movies
Well,
like that.
there you go. You heard it from
But it's just
Morgan.
a big toy commercial.
I mean, but what else? What isn't a kid's thing these days but a toy commercial?
Yes,
It's got music from
it's
Pitbull
like
and Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, that
and
sort of stuff. I hate that crap. It's so disingenuous.
I hate that crap too. Again, like Alan said, but if you got kids, they'll eat that shit up and want you to go buy them all the toys.
Yeah.
Even though I think it comes out next May, so it's not exactly like a holiday bait movie or anything.
No.
And the other one was 5 Feet Apart. That was an interesting trailer.
Seemed like a TV movie.
It seemed like very much like a Lifetime movie,
It did
right?
say CBS Studios.
That's really
It
close.
was produced by CBS Studios.
I don't
It
like seeing that kind of crap.
it was basically about
Depressing.
a girl with
cystic
fibrosis who, and then it seems like there's like a love story with a guy with cystic fibrosis. You know, if I'm gonna get
I
into
guess
my,
they can't be like physically in contact with each other.
they have to stay 6 feet
they'll
apart
kill each other?
because they could share their diseases or something. So then that whole thing is how they decide to be 5 feet apart, because they're willing to risk that 1 foot
Right.
of distance. I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna poo-poo the movie because I mean, cystic fibrosis is a serious disease. But at the same time, if I'm just gonna get into like my crystal ball here, I'm guessing one of them dies.
Yeah, that's usually how those movies
I mean,
go.
it's a very it looks like it's going to be one of those very formulaic,
So,
you know,
is a sick person? Oh,
2
one of them
teenagers
dies.
who struggle through something, and one passes on and the other
Right.
survives and never forgets them or something.
Right, well, they both die.
Or they both
To
die.
really turn the wrench into you.
That's what I'm seeing from that.
Right.
But anyhow, thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Alan, as always, for coming out and watching this movie. It's super early in the morning. I will get this review up as soon as possible. Let us know what you think of the movie as well if you go and see it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll be seeing lots more movies coming up this next week. We've got Wreck-It Ralph 2, Creed, Robin Hood.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's going to keep us busy over the Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're there with us. Have a wonderful night.
All right. Bye.